Right now at 10, what President Trump's cuts to AmeriCorps mean for lacrosse.
And a local school district's drastic moves after a failed referendum.
Plus, graduates of the nonprofit leadership program celebrate their accomplishments.
WKBT Lacrosse. This is News 8 Now at 10.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 10. I'm Emily Brown.
And I'm Ken Kozarowski. The Trump administration is ending $400 million in grants for AmeriCorps programs.
In La Crosse, the Nature Place relies on AmeriCorps members to help with community programming and visitor services. The place connects residents young and old with the environmental education.
But 6 active positions were lost in the administration's massive funding cuts. Marketing Communications Manager Paige Mangus says it's left them scrambling.
The timing of the funding that was cut is not great with our summer program coming up. We do ask this for flexibility as we are working currently to reconfigure schedules, budget to make these programs run as anticipated.
Mangus adds that these cuts will have long-term impacts on conservation and education in the community. In all of Wisconsin, around 430 AmeriCorps members lost their positions. La
Crosse residents had a chance to help shape the city's future housing scene. City planners hosted a public session on their rezoning project at the library. This project will redo zoning and neighborhood codes in the city. And they explained how regulations affect housing costs and even designs. The rules will decide everything from where apartments can be built to the size of backyards.
Looking for a more flexible, user-friendly code that developers, residents will be able to use a lot easier and find what their information that they're looking for quicker than the current code allows. That's from the 1980s.
If you missed it today, another information session will be hosted at the library at 5 p.m. tomorrow. You can also submit your ideas for the project to their survey. That's on forwardlacrosse.com.
The Arcadia School District is in a tough money spot. The district's $3.75 million operational referendum failed earlier this month. Now they need to cut over $800,000 from their budget. News 8 Now's Grace Monk breaks down the cuts.
The Arcadia School District will see some changes next year.
We are looking at about $800,000 to $1 million worth of reductions.
Athletic programs, courses, and a few faculty positions will be cut.
We will be eliminating gymnastics. We just don't have the students right now, and it's an expensive sport.
Arcadia superintendent says they can keep student activities by passing some of the costs on to parents.
We will be doing more of an activities pay for play, basically. So in activities, students will actually have to pay $50 per activity.
The district currently offers college credits both on and off campus. Next year, they plan to only offer 18 courses and eliminate transportation for ones outside of the high school.
By state law, we have to pay for up to 18 credits. Now, beyond the 18, our parents and guardians need to pay for those beyond the 18.
While the cuts will help, the district's financial concerns are far from over.
This year itself, we're probably going to be in a deficit of $100,000 plus. So we have to pay our bills just like everybody else, but we'll have to borrow to pay those bills. And it looks like we may not be able to have enough money to pay off the borrowing before we have to borrow again.
Now, the district could go to referendum again in April 2026. If that were to pass, the district wouldn't see those funds into 2027.
Southwest Wisconsin Tech earning the highest honor in community college education. Southwest Tech is claimed the 2025 Aspen Prize, beating out thousands of community colleges across the nation. It's an award that recognizes schools that demonstrate outstanding student outcomes and consistently improve graduation rates. Campus leaders celebrated the honor with a party this afternoon.
The application process is really telling our story. So it was finding those examples and the details of the work we do day in and day out to help our students, but really trying to make that come to life and show well on paper about what we do every day.
The school was awarded $700,000 with a portion dedicated to student scholarships.
Recipients of the Nonprofit Leadership Development Certificate celebrated their accomplishments today. 16 area nonprofit leaders presented their capstone project and were presented certificates at Viterbo University. The 6-month program teaches a deeper understanding of how successful nonprofits function. Classwork includes case studies, workshops, and presentations.
A lot of very dedicated community members that are working in nonprofits or learning to work in nonprofits. So it's a lot about leadership, learning kind of, I think, like the business marketing, different ends to it, but also just decision making.
This is the third year the La Crosse Area Community Foundation and Viterbo University partnered with the program.
Local families in need will soon receive additional support through a generous donation. The Toma Health Community Foundation has presented a $2,500 check to Family Promise of the Great Rivers. That organization provides shelter and resources to families without homes.
A lot of the families we work with have been homeless for 90 days or more, is the biggest demographic. And if we weren't there, that would continue. They'd be beyond 90 days, beyond a year. There just isn't simply the resources out there to help them.
So the money will be used toward shelter, food, clothing, and life skills training to help families achieve long-term stability.
The Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation is helping bring more events to La Crosse's north side. Caledonia Park Place is receiving a $50,000 Vibrant Space grant to transform this parking lot. Repairs will be made, and roughly 1/3 of the property will be converted to a people-focused space. Cultural and artistic features will also be added.
Now, a lot of excitement over what that thing will look like when that project is done.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in the meantime, today was lovely. It was a lovely past 2 days here in La Crosse, but could we be seeing more of that in the coming days, Greg?
It won't be that much probably for Thursday and Friday, but it's just a temporary break with what we've had for today. We do have precipitation. It's more really probably going to be damp for as we go into Thursday because not everyone will see rain, but we definitely will see cloud cover for everyone and that rain chance off and on. And that coolness will continue into Friday too. Overnight won't be as cool as we saw temperatures early this morning because of the cloud cover and some precipitation approaching areas, some more upper 40s near 50. Tomorrow with the clouds overhead, we're going to struggle to get up to 60s. There's a possibility of seeing a brief break in the clouds in the afternoon to get those temperatures up into the 60s, but it'll be hit and miss, so probably mainly 50s. And the rain chance really is for southern areas. As you see, La Crosse will have rain chance in the morning. We'll start seeing that taper off towards noon. Just light rain amounts, very light rain amounts, getting just above 55. Now for Eau Claire, areas really north of Black River Falls, we're probably not going to see any precipitation, mainly until maybe the evening hours. So just cloud cover getting back up to 55. There's your, right now, the precipitation that's not really reaching the ground. The big picture is there's two systems that are going to be in play here through Friday. So later on, we'll break down the showers going through Friday, what the weekend looks like, which you'll like, and I think Ken will really like next week too. There's a lot of 70s in there too.
All right.
But not me? Why wouldn't I like it?
I don't know, you want the 80s probably.
That's true. That is true. A little warmer would be nice. Okay, thank you, Greg. The Wisconsin Supreme Court is suspending an investigation into a leak. It's tied to a 2024 draft order in an abortion case. The court eventually investigated it. People were interviewed, security procedures reviewed, but a culprit was never found. To prevent future leaks, things like better document handling and faster investigations were suggested.
The Real ID deadline is 1 week away. You will need it to enter federal buildings and fly. If you have a driver's license, you can upgrade it at the DMV for $14. For a full ID, it is $16. And that deadline again next Wednesday.
A local scout is making kayaking easier on Blue Lake. Riley Schultz made this kayak launch as part of his final Eagle Scout project. Multiple years in the making, he partnered with local businesses to design and install the dock and the pathways leading to it. He chose this to share his passion for the outdoors.
Always kind of loved kayaking and fishing in the outdoors, and once I saw the site, it just kind of stood out to me and spoke to me that this was a way where I could spread my love with the community.
The new launch is located south of the Pike off Strupp Avenue.
Well, the numbers are in for this year's 2025 Conductor Wannabe competition. A total of $73,000 raised for this. Kelly Colgan and Eric Vos leading the way. Colgan raised a record-breaking $21,000 for Habitat for Humanity's Habitat for Hope. Vos, meanwhile, raising $7,000 for the La Crosse Community Theater.
I knew I wanted to do something for veterans, and I had already done some work with Kaya and Habitat for Humanity in the past. So once I realized they had this Habitat for Heroes program, it was a no-brainer. I know what they do in the community. They've already built 70 homes and already had 2 veterans' homes.
Just absolutely fabulous that people that have been working with LCT for probably over 50 years kind of got to show their support for me.
So those two winners will conduct on stage with the La Crosse Symphony Orchestra for their May 3rd concert.
Today marks 50 years since the fall of Saigon and the end of the Vietnam War. For La Crosse resident Tan Pham, it's a milestone that forever changed his life. Tan was just 12 years old when his family fled Vietnam 3 days before the war ended. Thanks to a chance encounter with a friend in the Navy, Tan and his family escaped with only the clothes on their backs.
He say, I could get you onto a ship, but you cannot go home and pack. You just have to go now.
After settling in Wisconsin with the help of a local farmer, Tan built a new life here. Now retired, he shares his culture through cuisine adventure tours, bringing Americans to experience the Vietnam he once had to flee. Tomorrow at 6, we'll share his remarkable journey from refugee to local businessman.
The State Department announcing new sanctions on Iran's energy sector.
Plus, a fan hospitalized after falling from outfield wall in Pittsburgh.
King Furniture would like to wish all moms a happy Mother's Day. And this year, let's skip the flowers and get her a gift she'll enjoy every single day. It's the Mother's Day trade-in sale at King Furniture, where you can trade in your old furniture and get huge savings on something brand new. Trade in that old tired recliner for a brand new style, or upgrade mom to the bedroom she's always dreamt of. Plus, find savings of up to 60% store-wide. Make this Mother's Day unforgettable, only at King Furniture.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Get employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs, plus $1,000 spring bonus cash on select vehicles. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
This is the story about a little empathy. No matter where little empathy looked, it just couldn't find its place in the world. Which was sad, because it had so much to give. Then one day, little empathy made a friend. And the friend took it somewhere it would always be useful and appreciated. Welcome to a place where healthcare is all about caring. Amplify Health. A little empathy changes everything.
Quite a scary moment at the Cubs and Pirates game in Pittsburgh tonight. A fan attending the game is hospitalized after falling from the outfield wall in right field. That's an elevated field. The fan was celebrating when he lost his balance and fell over that 21-foot wall. According to a statement from the Pittsburgh Pirates, the man was treated immediately by Pittsburgh EMS and athletic trainers, and he was then transported to Allegheny General Hospital. No updates on the fan's condition have been released.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio has announced new U.S. sanctions on Iran's energy sector. The sanctions target 7 entities that are engaged in the trade of Iranian petroleum and petrochemical products. Officials say nearly all of the entities are based in the United Arab Emirates. This comes a day after the announcement of sanctions over Iran's ballistic missile program.
President Trump facing tough questions as new reports show U.S. economic growth is slowing. CBS News' Erica Brown has more.
Market volatility continued Wednesday as investors responded to news that U.S. economic growth slowed sharply this year.
And that's Biden. That's not Trump.
President Trump downplayed the government data showing the gross domestic product contracted in the first quarter of 2025, its worst performance in 3 years.
He came in on January 20th. So this is Biden. And you could even say the next quarter is sort of Biden.
The GDP number was driven in part by a surge of imports as companies raced to get products before Trump's sweeping tariffs went into effect. On Wednesday, the president defended his tariffs on Chinese imports, even if it means higher prices for consumers for products like toys.
Maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30, you know? And maybe the $2 will cost a couple of bucks more than they would normally.
The Trump administration says the GDP numbers show momentum from job growth and trillions of dollars in new investments in America. But when it comes to tariffs, the president is facing pushback from members of Congress. On Wednesday, the Senate failed to pass a bill aimed at terminating the emergency declaration the president used to implement the tariffs. Kentucky's Republican Senator Rand Paul co-sponsored the bill and maintains the president has overstepped his powers.
Tariffs are taxes, plain and simple. Tariffs don't punish foreign governments, they punish American families.
Also on Wednesday, the U.S. signed a deal with Ukraine to create the United States-Ukraine Reconstruction Investment Fund, which will grant the U.S. rights to Ukrainian rare earth minerals. The signing concludes months of tense negotiations on security assurances for Ukraine and military support as the administration works to broker a peace deal to end Russia's war with Ukraine. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Well, we'll have more news ahead.
But first.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have a couple damp days to end the work week with some rain for some areas. The good news is the weekend's shaping up to be fantastic with plenty of sunshine. And even next week, we look like a stretch of 70s is definitely possible. We'll break it all down coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
Shop for a cause at Home Sleep Express. Donate $10 to help ovarian cancer research, and Home will give you 10% off Luxuria or Thomas Cole sleep mattresses. Plus, pay no interest for 1 year. Give $10, get 10% off sale prices. Right now at Home Sleep Express.
We see you out there, building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help with everything you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Like select bags of Timberline mulch, now 5 for $10. All fishing rod and reel combos are on sale. Plus, we've lowered prices store-wide, so you can find the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet, in original.
As a teacher, I think it's important that students here in Wisconsin become proficient and ideally strong in math.
We need to keep teachers like you here. That's what motivated UW-Madison's Wisconsin Teacher Pledge program.
By covering the cost of tuition, the Teacher Pledge enables us to teach in areas and subjects where we're needed the most.
We're working to fill these gaps, and those who benefit are the youth of Wisconsin.
When we stay in Wisconsin to teach, that's a win for everyone.
One Wisconsin, on Wisconsin.
You're ready for home improvement. Bathroom, kitchen, windows, doors, and more. The question is who? Begin here, the Board Store Home Improvements. The most experienced sales team in the area. The most experienced installation team. Plan with designers concerned about meeting your wants and needs. Choose from a selection of superior products. Receive a detailed proposal and a firm price. No pressure, no games. Recently voted Best of La Crosse, locally owned and operated. More than you expect for less than you thought. The Board Store.
Hey, Dominic here. We always get asked, what do you have for ground pork? With over 40 blends at our outlet store, we recommend these 4: Bavarian sausage, breakfast sausage, Italian, and pork. First, you need ground pork, preferably from a local meat shop. Mix in 2 to 3 teaspoons of Please Name per pound, make into patties, and cook thoroughly until done. All 4 of these choices will make great tasting sausage patties, and they're low in sodium. Get these seasonings and more at the outlet store. And it's time to pig out.
Shop for a cause at Home Seasonal Concepts. Home will give you 10% off sale prices on porch and patio when you donate $10 to help ovarian cancer research. Give $10 to Mocha and get 10% off sale prices now at Home Seasonal Concepts.
Is it time for new windows or doors? Contact the company who has done the research for you. The best windows and doors installed by the best people. Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions.
Unfortunately, we're going to end the work week on a damp and kind of much cooler note, especially going into Friday, but it doesn't last too long, and the weekend looks great. And all of next weekend, for the most part, a lot of 70s and dry conditions, kind of a dry pattern we're going into. But we do have a wet morning for a lot of areas south of I-90. Go further north, unlikely to see much in the way of precipitation. It'll probably be just cloud cover going on. There is another round of showers coming in for Thursday evening, kind of a line going west to east across the area. And then it'll be definitely dry, cooler, even kind of chilly. I misspelled chilly there too. By Friday going milder, but then milder by Saturday too. And I'll say how cold it will feel for Friday here in about a few minutes here. Otherwise, all the precipitation really is not going to be developing until about 2 to 3. You'll start seeing this area begin to approach Prairie du Chien south of I-90 probably by 5 to 6 a.m. This area, very light rain will begin to spread across, and I think it'll get far north, maybe as Black River Falls, Winona area, and that's about it. It'll begin then to push off to the east as we get towards 10 and 11. western areas of the area will begin to see the precipitation come to an end. Eventually, I-90 area will be about 1 to 2. The rest of the afternoon actually doesn't look too bad. In fact, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, we might see some sun that could help get these temperatures into the low 60s, but then cloud cover comes. We definitely have another front, almost like a cold front that'll be approaching from the west, and there's this line of scattered showers that'll come through, more of them as you go further north. In fact, Ladysmith and the Rusk County might see more of a general light rain. That'll come through the evening and about midnight, 2 to 3 in the morning. I think the morning commute for the most areas will be dry, except east of I-94. That precipitation will then push east. Now, Friday looks overall not too bad. It's just going to be cloudy, cool with a north wind continuing. The problem with that is the temperatures are really going to be changing. But for tomorrow, the temperatures drop a few degrees. We're back to the upper 50s, low 60s with that rain and all cloud cover. Friday going into then Friday, look at these temperatures up to the north, Rusk County, low upper 40s. So definitely quite a drop and well below average. Further south you go, upper 50s, low 60s. So quite a contrast across the area, but so it could feel quite chilly with that north wind going on with the cloud cover. Now Saturday, we start clearing out. We get the lighter winds back to where we should be, which is about the mid 60s right now for most of the area. Those conditions continue on Sunday. In fact, the temperatures come up to the 70s across the area. Not too far, you have almost the 80s. That pattern will continue because the jet stream is going to be well to the north pretty much for the next week. Otherwise, pretty dry. That'll keep the storm track to the north permanently and keep us on at least mild to maybe warm at times. So that's the positive news if you want a dry stretch of weather coming. I think we got that for the most part once we get past for the precipitation we see on tomorrow. As you can see, the weekend looks great, mid 70s, and then next week minus just a little bit of drop in the temperature Wednesday and Thursday. It's dry and mild, and in fact, you could go all the way through the following weekend to be dry conditions too. So I think we'll be in a dry stretch, but if you like the 70s, we've got quite a few of those coming next week.
I think we've got a lot of lovely days coming up.
So many lovely ones.
Thank you, Greg. Coming up next in sports, the race to double digits. Onalaska and GET going for win number 10 on the season. Plus, going from Hilltopper to Laker, one of the area's most athletic hoopers sharing a special day with friends and family. Jacob is next.
He say, I can get you onto a ship, but you cannot go home and pack. You just have to go now.
He fled Vietnam to America at the end of the war. Now he returns as a cultural and culinary ambassador. His incredible story, Thursday at 6.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Get employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs, plus $1,000 spring bonus cash on select vehicles. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
Convenience is a big factor. We're right here in Onalaska.
We're local. You know, we've been here for a long time. We take all insurances. We service and repair many different makes and models of hearing aids. Even if you didn't get your hearing aids with us, we'd be happy to take a look at them.
If your hearing aid is still under warranty, we can do some warranty work for you there.
You know, just walk in. You know, you don't have to have an appointment. I'm happy to help if I can.
Our family is helping your family. Better Hearing Center, Onalaska, next to St. Pat's Church.
Shop Wisconsin's best deals at Black River Furniture Outlet. Find unbeatable prices on sectionals, big or small, to fit every home. Great savings on Ashley sofas and love seats. Style and comfort at a price you'll love. Check out our wide selection of reclining and power furniture, plus custom options from Best Home Furnishings. Experience top-tier comfort with Catnapper Furniture, where relaxation is key. Black River Furniture Outlet, your upholstery headquarters. Family values, veteran-owned, and no corporate hassle. Open 7 days a week in Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Spring is here, and it's time to visit Jolivet Family Farms. 8 greenhouses full of a wide variety of flowers, vegetable, and plants, all grown for this climate. Seed potatoes, onion sets, sweet onion plants, bulk seeds, succulents, citronella mosquito plants, horseradish, rhubarb, asparagus. Find unique lawn and garden decor. Take home a strawberry rhubarb pie, rhubarb crisp, or peanut butter pie from our homemade bakery. All this and so much more. Jolivet Family Farms, West Salem.
Covering all the exciting action from your community. Here's News 8 Now Sports with Jacob Lansendorf.
Well, the UWL softball team is just 9 days away from their conference tournament getting underway. Eagles looking to get back to their winning ways after dropping a couple last Saturday. UW lacrosse hosting Stout on a beautiful day for softball. Home side jumps on the Blue Devils in the first. Abby Bosch pounds one into the ground. The shortstop tries to get the runner at third, but it's an errant throw, and Brooke Howard will score. But in the second, with 2 runners in scoring position, Liz Roll shoots one to the opposite field, and that scores 2 to put the visitors up in front. In the fourth, UWL looking to even it up with runner on third, but Marissa Pease is going to ground out to end the threat. Those 3 runs were all that were scored in the contest as Stout goes on to take game 1 2-1, and UWL would bounce back to win the second. A battle of 9-2 teams from Galesville today, and this was a pitcher's duel. Sydney Krause is going to get the punch out to retire the side for Onalaska, but GET's Samantha Stanton was also on her A game in the circle as she gets the strikeout. Game still tied with Caroline Mack at the plate, and she unties it with a single scoring Melanie Robinson. And then coming up, it's Mack at the plate with another runner in scoring position as the grounder will plate Helene DeJager. Redhawks pick up their 10th win of the season, taking this one by a final of 2-0. Well, back up Onalaska High School today, a special day for one of the area's high flyers as Broden Steiner announced his intentions to play basketball at Division II Roosevelt University in Chicago. Broden was surrounded by family and friends while recounting some of his best memories as a Hilltopper and celebrating with some cookies. He says there were a lot of factors that contributed to him choosing to become a Laker.
Yeah, I really like the campus and the basketball program, especially the coaches. They seem like they're going to push me a lot, and I really like that. I grew over my junior and senior year in the basketball game, and I think that I can still grow a lot.
Steiner averaged just under 14 points and 6 rebounds per game in his senior season with the Hilltoppers. He was also a second-team all-conference performer. He was a large part in Anna making it to the sectional semifinal. Brewers looking to make it 3 wins in a row to end April. Milwaukee gets on the board courtesy of a William Contreras base knock to right to score Isaac Collins. Then fast forward to the 6th. Runners on first and second, but Nick Mears gets Brooks Baldwin to ground into the double play to end the inning. Then in the 8th, bases loaded for Jake Bowers. He comes up with a big hit. That shot to right is going to score 2, and the Crew get back above 500 as they go on to win by 2 over the White Sox. Twins take it on the Guardians once again. In the 7th inning, Josh Naylor makes a 1-run game a 4-run game with a 3-run blast to right field, his 4th of the year. Minnesota pulls a little closer in the 8th. Brooks Lee gives one a drive to a similar spot, and that one is just barely going to have enough juice to leave the yard. Twins would bring the tying run to the plate in the 9th, but one of the best closers in baseball, Emmanuel Clase, shuts the door with a 100-mile-per-hour heater. Cleveland wins 4-2. And in the Western Conference playoffs, the Timberwolves looking to end their series with the Lakers in 5 at last check. Minnesota leading LA 59-49 now at half, and Rudy Gobert has 15 for the T-Wolves, while Anthony Edwards added 10, and Los Angeles has Luka Doncic leading the way with 12. Winner of that one will face the Rockets or the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, Rockets won tonight.
Today,
yeah.
Which was a happy camper from Houston.
Big
Good,
time
about
win.
time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, from start to finish, the Rockets were in control in that
Jumped
one.
out to a big lead, so we will see if the Lakers can come back or if it's going to be one and done tonight. So.
Well, fingers crossed the Wolves can hang on, and I got to say, even if the Rockets make it through, those T-Wolves are a tough team.
They are a tough team.
All right. Amen.
Gonna need a miracle.
Exactly. All right. More news right after this.
Save the day for Spring Market in the Valley on Saturday, May 3rd. Browse items from dozens of local vendors and enjoy concessions from area food trucks while you shop. All right down Central Ave in Coon Valley. That's Spring Market in the Valley on Saturday, May 3rd in Coon Valley. River City Grill in Winona is your place for great food and drinks every night of the week. Tuesday night is rib night. Get a half rack of barbecue ribs with baked beans, coleslaw, and cornbread for only $23.99, plus $1 off craft beer. See you soon at River City Grill in Winona.
It's weird to admit, but it's true. I'm selling Chevys. 2024 Malibus to be exact, starting at $17,890, $299 down, and $299 per month. It's Malibu Madness. and they feature great options including heated seats, remote start, Apple CarPlay, and up to 36 miles per gallon. All have low miles with remaining factory warranty. But the bad part is these are getting harder to get. So if you're in the market for an affordable ride, come see us today at Chrysler Winona, Highway 61, Winona.
Can your floor stand up to this? At Sealands Carpetland, we know how hard your family can be in your home. You need a flooring that can stand up to mud, pets, and a crew like this. Don't sacrifice beauty for function. We'll help you find the perfect flooring to fit your lifestyle and budget. Come in and see our huge selection of luxury vinyl and tile. Sealands Carpetland in Coon Valley, where our #1 priority is you. Stop in today.
Craving authentic Mexican flavors? Look no further than Señor Villa. At Señor Villa, we bring the taste of Mexico to your table every day. Join us for our unbeatable $5 lunch specials packed with flavor and value. And don't miss our nightly specials where the fiesta never ends. Señor Villa, where great food meets great value. Visit us today. Señor Villa, the taste of Mexico you've been craving.
River City Grill in Winona is your place for great food and drinks every night of the week. Tuesday night is rib night. Get a half rack of barbecue ribs with baked beans, coleslaw, and cornbread for only $23.99, plus $1 off craft beer. See you soon at River City Grill in Winona. Save the day for Spring Market in the Valley on Saturday, May 3rd. Browse items from dozens of local vendors and enjoy concessions from area food trucks while you shop. All right down Central Ave in Coon Valley. That's Spring Market in the Valley on Saturday, May 3rd in Coon Valley.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Penguins International had people vote for their favorite penguins.
Ducky recently went flipper to flipper with dozens of other penguins in this year's March of the Penguin Madness, all vying for the title, World's Most Popular Penguin. Zoos from New Zealand to Nebraska got to nominate their contenders.
From 48 penguins, Colorado voters made Ducky one of the last 6 penguins standing. There, Ducky's Cinderella run finally came to an end.
Okay,
I had no idea this was a thing.
I didn't know either. How do you determine who's the most popular?
Oh man.
Whichever one has the most penguins around him all the time.
And perhaps a lot of it's going to be the photo too, whichever one looks the most adorable. At least
They all
that would affect how I would vote.
Okay.
Whichever one looks the cutest in the photo.
I think that whoever comes off the most fun. Like playful,
Who's got the
likes
fun
to do activities, they would win in my book. Yep.
We got to look it up.
Yep. All right, Greg has a final look at your forecast right after this.
For residential, commercial, or high-speed doors, come to LaCrosse Glass and Overhead Doors. We carry a variety of CHI door styles designed to fit your vision. Get your free quote today.
Hey, Dominic here, and I'm back to show you how I personally make my Bloody Marys using our Please Name Bloody Mary mix. First, you'll take a pint glass full of ice, add a spoonful of Please Name Bloody Mary mix, a couple dashes of Worcestershire sauce, a shot or 2 of vodka, and top it off with tomato juice. Want it spicier? Add more mix. Be sure to get your Please Name Bloody Mary mix and 39 other blends at the Please Name Outlet Store on Ward Avenue, La Crosse. Cheers! Worcestershire.
Stop into Pischke Motors West Salem or Pischke Motors La Crosse now to get employee pricing for all for a limited time only. Get your favorite Jeep, Ram, Dodge, or Chrysler during their Freedom of Choice pricing program. Employee pricing for all means anyone can get exclusive employee pricing on these new vehicles. This opportunity won't last long, so stop into Pischke Motors now. This offer ends April 30th. Go to Pischke.com, Pischke Motors West Salem, or Pischke Motors La Crosse.
Jason's been with us long enough now to see changes in Michael's abilities. He can analyze them and tailor his recommendations because he has almost as much knowledge of Michael's health as Michael's doctors do. I think that's huge. That is the single biggest factor for me. And that kind of client relationship is invaluable, especially when you're facing the challenges that we are.
Hi, I'm Jason with Access Elevators. Stop in and see us today.
For our 13th year, Home Furniture is teaming up with the Minnesota Ovarian Cancer Alliance to raise funds for research, increase awareness, and support women and their families.
Make a purchase at home and donate $10 to MOCA and get an extra 10% off sale prices.
Together, we can make an impact. Shop for a cause and donate $10 for MOCA.
And save an extra 10% off our sale prices.
Thank you for supporting A Cure by shopping at Home Furniture. And join us in September for Home Teal Strides Walk and Run for ovarian cancer research.
For residential, commercial, or high-speed doors, come to LaCrosse Glass and Overhead Doors. We carry a variety of CHI door styles designed to fit your vision. Get your free quote today.
All right, it'll be kind of a rainy Thursday for some, but not all, but definitely damp and cooler, and especially Friday, 50s, even some areas upper 40s, so quite chilly for Friday. Good news, the weekend looks great, and all of next week, really, for the most part, we're looking at 70s and dry conditions. Really, it could be a dry pattern.
Groovy.
Downright lovely. Thanks for joining us at 10.
We'll see you tomorrow.